run, and I'm not running to be pastor-in-chief. I'm running to be commander-in-chief. It's a different role, right?
Since we are a nation of immigrants, right? What better way to honor the spirit and vision of our forefathers than to elect someone who embodies the American dream? What do you mean? You're like, what are you talking about? Right. We are a nation, right? We were founded on the freedom of religion. That means if you are a citizen here, you are entitled and free to worship God how you see fit, which means the way I worship God is going to be different how you worship God. Now, I'm evangelize you and give you the gospel, but our nation has afforded us the opportunity, freedom of worship. Vivek Ramaswamy is telling you, I'm a Hindu, and I worship my God or multiple gods or however many they doing, but I should be free to worship, and you should be free to worship yours unencumbered without government interference. That, you guys, is the American way. I mean, you know.
And it is with this understanding, this vision, to see what can be unburdened by what has been.
We can just be unburdened by what has been. Vivek is saying we are created equal because we're all image bearers. And regardless of ethnicity, you should be treated with dignity, value, and respect. That's why our forefathers founded this country, and Vivek is the embodiment of that. Like, his parents came to this country with no money, worked hard, raised him and his brother, and look at both of them today. Like, he's a boss, his brother's a boss, mom and daddy, like, everybody's just a boss. The babies just cute little boss babies. Like, everybody is just doing it. They pulled themselves up out of poverty using the American capitalist system to do it. I'm sorry. That's the American dream, okay? If you understand anything about this country, America is a ladder, right? So, you know, you have a ladder and it's got rungs. And you start at the bottom and you can climb up and down that ladder based on your own efforts. So for the believer living in America, what should you think about Vivek Ramaswamy? You should think that Vivek Ramaswamy would be a good and just ruler who embodies non-salvific fear of God and would rule well with a defined path of moving this country forward, uniting us as Americans, and restoring the spirit of what it means to be an American and a citizen of this great nation. After being exposed to candidate Ramaswamy, looking into him, I wanted to know the good, the bad, things that were concerned me. Despite all of that, I was drawn to him because I don't like to be lied to, right? Like, I'm the type of woman, not that my husband would ever do this, but I'm like, just tell me the truth. Don't decide for me what I'm going to do with that truth. Don't decide for me. You tell me the truth and put it in my lap for me to decide what I'm going to do with that information. So when he comes out the gate and says, I just voted for the first time since 2020. That's the fact. That is the truth. Don't lie to me. Don't try to present, well, you know, I've been involved. I was a community organizer. Like, no, he was like, I was too busy stacking chips. I was making bank. Like, I was building corporations and running just companies. That's what I was doing. And I got married, and then I had some kids, and then I voted for the first time in 2020. Don't lie to me. Don't come up in here trying to come up in my church talking about you about to sing a solo, Jesus be offense. Like, you a Hindu. Just say, I'm Hindu. I'm not Christian. My Christian piano teacher was a great influence in my life. I went to Catholic school. I've studied the Christian faith, but I'm a Hindu. I know out the gate what I'm working with and what I'm dealing with. You come out the gate, tell me your thoughts on the life issue. You believe that humans are made in the image of God. We shouldn't be murdering babies. Thank you. Now I know where you stand. When you tell me that you think parents should have school choice, I'm like, okay, that's something I can get with. I'm a proponent of school choice. Lay out who you are so that I can engage with you on my own terms. Don't lie to me. So, it's for all of these reasons. When I was looking into Vivek, I was like, okay, I'm still, I support, I am going to support whoever the GOP nominee is. But I was like, this dude, he deserves some careful consideration because Vivek is the kind of candidate that I believe this country needs. And he's someone that I could throw my support behind and just be like, at the end of the day, I think I made a good choice. Vivek was born and raised in Cincinnati, Ohio, right? So he graduates summa cum laude from with a degree in biology from Harvard, and then he receives his JD from Yale Law School, right? Then he starts a biotech company called Roivant Sciences, where he oversaw the development of 5 drugs that became FDA approved. Vivek is also married. His wife's name is Apoorva. She's super cute. Like the babies, they're raising their 2 sons. I was like, look at this millennial American archetype. I love it. Now, granted, that pulled on my heartstrings, but that wasn't why I wanted to support him. But it helped. It did help the fact that he was married and he had some cute kids. I'm just saying, right? Why don't front? People love the first family or the royal family over in Europe. Americans, we want to see a nice little first family in the White House. We care about your policies, but at the end of the day, we want to see them pictures. We want to see the first family on Christmas with the big, pretty Christmas tree saying happy holiday. Like, we want to see that, right? But Vivek has a 5 policy commitment that I want to share with you guys. The first one is he wants to revive American national identity. From securing our borders, which Chicago, y'all know y'all need the border secure because y'all feeling the pain right now. And all my family in New York, I hear you. I'm sorry y'all going through it, but your cities, them blue cities, declare themselves sanctuary cities. You get what you vote for. I'm just saying. I have compassion on you, but understand that elections have consequences. But from securing our borders to ending cultural extremism, he believes that we need to recognize that our country is better when we identify as Americans and not by these artificial labels, right? So I'm big on, when people, I don't like the term African American. I don't come from Africa. Like, I'm a Black American, but he would be considered like an Indian American. But we all need to just unite as Americans, right? All these hyphens is creating a problem. But he wants to revitalize the American economy again. Like, I'm a small business owner, and when I hear a candidate talking about reviving the American economy, as opposed saying, those jobs ain't coming back, like, it's not happening, so get it out your mind. Remember when Obama told us that those jobs are never gonna come back, and then Trump bought them back, and then now we back with Biden, and then we ain't got them jobs again? Vivek wants to revitalize the American economy again. He wants to bring back American energy independence. Like, we were so close, you guys, in the last administration. We were actually energy independent. We didn't have to beg overseas in the Middle East, begging for oil and making these backroom deals. Like, we had our own energy and we were able to be energy independent. He wants to bring that back. He wants to bring back American jobs for American citizens, not illegals, American citizens, and stabilize the dollar. That is important. Number 3, he wants to hold China accountable for their American intellectual property theft and their awful human rights violations, right? So the American intellectual property theft is when we make something, excuse me, and then the folks go in China, they go and make a knockoff of it, and it's like the Wish version of whatever it is that we got going over here. He wants to enforce that and be like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. And he's like, we need to deal with these human rights violations. The China-Russia alliance, believe it or not, it is the number one threat to American security. If China and Russia unite, there goes our superpower status at this point. It's gone. But there's still hope, right? If we just put our emotions aside and think about this logically, you get the right candidate in there that understands that China-Russia alliance is a threat to our American security. I'm just saying. Number 4, he wants to dismantle the bureaucracy in Washington, D.C., reform that, and rebuild these government agencies and transform waste into a balanced budget. Meaning, we're not about to have all these departments, the do-nothings, but everybody's getting a check and all the bureaucratic red tape that you have to go through. Those need to be rebuilt, particularly the FBI, because if they'll weaponize the FBI against political opponents, don't think they're not coming for you in the little $2, $3, $4, $6, $800 in your CashApp, right? Weaponizing the IRS to look into what your taxes are or are not doing. We need to deal with that. And then number 5, he wants to end the weaponization of the federal government, right? From the Department of Justice to the FBI. Taxpayers, we should not be funding politically motivated attacks on individuals and undermining the entire political process. You should not have a district attorneys like Alvin Bragg in New York with these trumped up charges. They will do it to you if they'll do it to him, right? He's also, Vivek Ramaswamy is already qualified for the August 23rd GOP primary debate. And when I tell y'all, I can't wait. I can't wait to see this man on that stage. I am going to have a debate party at the house. I'm going to talk to my husband and see if he'll put the big old screen. I want to see it outside. I want to sit on my patio furniture. I'm going to have drinks. I'm going to be bougie with a charcuterie board. Like, we're going all out because I want to see him on that stage, right? I want to see him debate ideas and not attack people's character. Why? Because he wants to take the America First agenda further than the last administration, and that's what this country needs. And he is not afraid to take on the issues, and he'll talk to anybody, right? He's been seen in a barbershop in the hood on the south side of Chicago. He went on the Breakfast Club and handed Teslin her behind with her ignorant self. Like, he just was making us proud all the way around. He's been on podcasts, conservative, liberal, and independent, ones that are slighted against him and ones that are not. And he's been discussing the issues. He's like, we need to restore the America where we can talk and where you don't have to whisper and be like, you conservative? You know, do you believe? You know, like when you meet a person, you're scared to say because you don't know if they find out you're conservative, if they're going to be like, ugh. No. Why can't we be open about who we are? And that's why I don't hide my political convictions on this channel. Because either you like me or you don't. I don't care. But you're going to get this truth.